Welcome to EPG Pathshala. From the use of light to generate on-off patterns to 5G technology, from radio controlled toys to sophisticated satellite communication, from AM radio kilohertz waves to WLAN gigahertz wave, from the very long waves used for submarine communication to very short UWB pulses, from the global GSM network to the extremely close body area network. Wireless communication has revolutionized the way in which we work, connect and communicate to the outer world. It has made the world a very small entity, uncovering the aspect of pervasive or ubiquitous computing under the banner anywhere, anytime. Our today's topic is wireless communication, which is module number 1 of paper Mobile Computing in the subject of information technology. The topics which we will be covering are introduction to wireless communication, advantages and types of wireless communications, challenges faced by wireless communication and the history since its inception by the invention of radio waves by Marconi. Let us begin with the definition of wireless communication. What is meant by wireless communication? Transmitting voice or data without the use of electrical conductors or wires over some distance. This distance can be small in the case of Bluetooth, Zigbee, WLAN, remote controlled toys, TV remote control, and it can be long in the case of satellite communication, mobile phones, radios, high altitude platform, that is HAP. To understand that how wireless communication work, we said that wireless communication do not use wires. Then how do they transmit the information? For this, let me ask you a question. Are you experiencing any sort of wireless transmission around you right now? I am sure that I will be getting very big answers like I am using GPS, I am using Wi-Fi, I am using Bluetooth. But before we study about the sophisticated and specialized technology, let us not forget the most humble and the primitive wireless transmission which we experience in our day-to-day life, that is vision, human vision. How do we see? When light falls on an object, according to the property of the object, it reflects, absorbs or transmits the light. The reflected light reaches our eyes, our brain interprets it and we are able to perceive the object. But why we are not able to see in dark? Obviously, because there is no light. There is no light means there is no energy. So, all form of wireless communication needs some energy to transmit. Principal sources of energy for wireless communication are electromagnetic energy. Electromagnetic energy is carried by electromagnetic waves. What are electromagnetic waves? A stream of massless particle moving in a sinusoidal wave-like pattern with the velocity of light in vacuum. They can travel in vacuum, but in vacuum the speed of electromagnetic waves is 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meters per second, that is the speed of light. Electromagnetic waves are characterized by different attributes: frequency, wavelength, amplitude, phase and energy. We will be discussing all these attributes detail in the next module, but we will be referring these attributes in this module. So, let us have a quick introduction of these attributes. What is frequency? Literally, frequency means rate of change. In context with electromagnetic waves, frequency is number of cycles completed in 1 second. Like suppose if 10 cycles are completed in 1 second, we say that frequency is 10. It is measured in hertz. Like suppose when I speak fast, I am saying that my frequency is high. When I am speaking slow, I am saying that the frequency is low. I am giving an example of a sound wave, but actually electromagnetic sound waves are not electromagnetic waves, they are mechanical waves, but just to explain the concept of frequency, I can tell this. In case of light, frequency is measured by colors. Different colors appear at different frequencies. For example, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, the constituent colors which makes the visible spectrum or the light are at different frequencies. Next attribute is wavelength. What is wavelength? The peak values, the distance between the two peak values is known as wavelength. You can see that as the frequency is increasing, the distance between the peak values is decreasing. So, we conclude that frequency and wavelength are inversely proportional to each other. These are the basic two attributes on which the electromagnetic waves can be divided. Amplitude describes the strength of the electromagnetic waves. In case of light, amplitude describes brightness. In case of sound, again I am referring it is not an electromagnetic waves. In case of sound, amplitude defines loudness. Electromagnetic waves are arranged according to their frequency and wavelengths in different bands, and the collection of those bands is known as electromagnetic spectrum. It varies from gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, visible, infrared rays, microwaves and radio waves. The gamma rays have got the highest frequency of the order of terahertz and lowest wavelength of the order of nanometers. Radio waves have got very low frequency, maybe of the order of kilohertz and wavelength in kilometers. Now, not all the part of this electromagnetic spectrum is suitable for wireless communication. The part of the electromagnetic spectrum which is appropriate for the wireless communication is radio waves, microwaves, infrared waves and visible waves or the visible spectrum. Radio waves. Radio waves are used in radio, television, mobile phones, WLANs, etc. When Marconi discovered radio waves, least did he knew that it will bring a revolution in the wireless communication industry. Radio waves are easily to generate. They travel omnidirectional from the transmitter in all the directions. They can travel long distances. They are less attenuated. They can cross the obstacles. They can even travel under the ground and hence making them suitable for submarine communication. A special types of waves known as short waves get reflected from the ionosphere layer of the atmosphere, hence covering a large distance across the globe. They are known as short waves. The short waves travel long distance across the globe. Microwaves are at higher frequency than radio waves. They are unidirectional. They travel along short distances. They are easily obstructed and requires line of sight for communication. While walking on the highway, while traveling through the highway, we observed equally spaced antennas along the side of the highways. Those are microwave antennas which are placed at regular intervals because to allow the line of sight between them. The next type of band is the infrared waves. It is used in remote controls, infrared data association. We know that it is again at a higher frequency from the radio waves as well as microwaves, and as the frequency increases, the distance of transmission also decreases. So, infrared waves can travel through short distances of the order of meters. They are also easily obstructed. They are used in TV, remote and infrared data association. Visible spectrum can also be used for wireless communications. Now, to allow the visible spectrum to transmit the information, we need to focus it. So, visible spectrum is used for wireless communication using LEDs and laser lights. They can be used for wireless intranet which can be established between two adjacent buildings, but they are easily deviated by bad weather, rain and strong winds, and also they require line of sight, easily obstructed by obstacles. The other forms of energy other than the electromagnetic energy which is used for wireless communication are the acoustic energy which is used in hydrophones and wireless sensor networks, and the electronic energy which uses a beam of electron to transmit the information. Let us look at the current existing wireless systems. Some of them are listed and the list is definitely to grow in the coming years. They are cellular system, cordless phones, wireless LANs, satellites, paging, Bluetooth, vehicular ad hoc networks, sensor networks using RFID, body area networks, ultra wideband radios, and low cost, low power Bluetooth and Zigbee, and GPS. Now, these are some of the examples of wireless systems which we observe and use in our day-to-day life. Let us look at the advantages of wireless communication. The first advantage is very obvious, that is freedom from wires. A wireless environment is hassle-free environment. It is easy to establish, use and maintain. Examples: wireless phones, wireless headphones, keyboards, wireless phone chargers, and ultra wideband also promises wireless desktops in the coming years. Bluetooth technology enables a SMS on a mobile phone to be wirelessly transmitted to the printer, hence reducing the labor of connecting to jacks, plugs and messy yet costly wires. The second advantage is mobility. It is well said that when you are not tied, you can fly. This is also true with the wireless communication. We are flying literally. The waves supporting wireless communications move freely in air, hence they do not tie a device to a particular location as is done by messy wires and cables. To support the connectivity while the devices are mobile in nature, technologies like mobile IP and cellular IP are used. Roaming facility initiated by GSM has now been accepted by all standards, providing flexibility to stay connected anywhere on globe. The third advantage is global connectivity. It says where the wires cannot go, wireless can go. Wireless communications come with the tagline anywhere, anytime. Communications can reach the places which are otherwise infeasible or costly to be connected by wires, like rural areas, moving vehicles, hilly regions, underwater communication. Satellite technologies enables seamless connectivity in remote and inaccessible places like deserts, dense forest, battlefields, calamity affected areas. For example, NASA Finder is a device which can be handheld using a laptop, and it runs a finder software to detect the heartbeats of the people who are buried inside. It also has the capability to separate the heartbeat of human beings from the heartbeat of rodents like rats, which might be present inside the ground. Convenience. Wireless communication allows automatic instant communication without any physical setup. We enter an airport terminal, we put on our Wi-Fi, we connect to the hotspot and it is done. A UPS delivery system. When you sign a delivery package, the UPS tablet uploads it to the main server as a proof of delivery. We are sitting in a car, I just take out my RFID card out of the car, card reader reads it and the amount is deducted from my account without getting down, my toll is being paid. Next advantage is reduced cost. The cost can be measured in two forms, the cost at the time of installation and the cost for maintenance. Both these costs are more higher in wired setups because wireless setups do not use elaborate infrastructure. The installation and maintenance is very less as compared to wired. The wired installation includes the charges of cables and other devices, and the charges of cables are in foot. Time and labor to plan wiring is also expensive. Furthermore, if there is a damage to the buried cables, it requires replacement and replanning, which again is a costly affair. Conversely, wireless setups, if done properly, requires very less maintenance, and that too is easy and cheap. The next advantage is flexibility. You can grow only when you are flexible. A wireless setup can be easily scaled by configuring more devices to the existing setup which is otherwise difficult in wired one because of the limited number of user supports which can be physically connected to the device. Also, scaling requires lots of changing in the wiring, in the topologies, which again demands for labor and ultimately results in increase of the cost. So, these are some of the advantages of wireless communications. Every new thing comes with a challenge, and Ray Davis has said, a challenge becomes obstacle only when you bow to it. Wireless communication also faces lots of challenge. There are lots of efforts already made to cope up with these challenges, and many more are in pipeline. We will be discussing some of the challenges which a wireless communication industry faces. The first one is of efficient hardware. What do I mean when I say efficient hardware? The first requirement is that it should be functionally good. The second is that it should consume less power. Third, it should be of low cost. It should be lightweight. I am carrying it from one place to another place, so weight should be less. With the introduction of 3G and following technologies, multimedia applications are most sought after, which is a power hungry scenario. Power is most critical resource in wireless body area networks, which provide ubiquitous healthcare infrastructure like heart monitoring system, etc. Now, how to control the power? At equipment level, power saving can be done by switching it to sleep mode when not in use and using low power transmitters and receivers for wireless devices. Advances in semiconductor technology and transmissions at high frequencies have resulted in small antenna sizes, hence making the devices lightweight and energy efficient. Energy efficient signal processing components like CMOS offers a energy efficient yet cheap option than its counterpart ECL, which is fast but power hungry. At operating system level, power can be controlled by the use of power aware file system, graphic drivers and other components. The technologies like Bluetooth and Zigbee are designed in such a way that they extract less power from the device. And the upcoming technology ultra wideband, which is used for short communication, is most efficient of all in the terms of cost, power, physical size and data rates. The next challenge is of finite radio spectrum. Though the recent wireless technologies use license free 2.4 GHz ISM band for short communications, but radio frequencies used for long distance communications like satellite communication, radios, televisions, mobile phone still rely on licensed frequency spectrum, which is limited and regulated by international standards. So, it is required to efficiently use the available spectrum without or very less interference. So, it is required to efficiently use the available spectrum without or very less interference. One approach is cellular frequency reuse. What is cellular frequency reuse? The geographical area is divided into small cells which are base station or access point in the center of the cell. Neighboring cells are assigned different frequencies. So, in this way the neighboring cells when assigned non-overlapping frequencies will not interfere with each other. But looking at the limited spectrum, these frequencies have to be reused. So, what is done is that a cell which is at a geographical distance, which is at a frequency reuse is supported by assigning same frequencies to those cells which are geographically distant from each other. They are also known as radio isolated cells. Cognitive radio is emerging as another alternative to efficiently utilize the radio spectrum, as it increases the utilization of radio spectrum to support the traffic. Spread spectrum technologies have been applied to reduce the interference. The size of the cells are becoming small and small. Sectorized antennas are used to make multiple partitions within the cells to efficiently use the finite radio spectrum. The next channel is quality of service. As wireless communication is getting more and more ubiquitous, a high quality of service in the delivery of voice, video and data is expected. In mobile telephony, quality of service is estimated by voice quality, signal strength, low call blocking and dropping, high data rates for multimedia applications, whereas for wireless networks, quality of service depends on throughput, delay, packet loss rate, low packet error rate and reliability. Factors affecting quality of services are multipath interference, noise, improper handoffs during mobility and many more. So, the solution to maintain the quality of service are signal processing techniques to overcome attenuation, installation of repeaters at regular intervals to maintain the quality of the signals, widespread cellular infrastructure, MIMO technology, that is multiple input, multiple output antennas are used, OFDM, that is orthogonal frequency division modulation to reduce multipath interference, proper handoff mechanisms when the device moves from one cell to another cell, mobile IP to ensure internet mobility, improved TCP algorithms to increase the throughput, improved MAC algorithms adapted for wireless scenario for proper carrier sense and collision detection. 3G and 4G technologies. These are all measures taken to improve the quality of service. 4G technology is coming with a reliability of 99.999. It is also known as 5-point reliability. The next challenge is mobility management. An ideal wireless technology, particularly in mobile computing environment, should maintain uninterrupted connectivity when a mobile device changes location. Proper infrastructure management for installation and maintenance of cells and their networks are one of the measures towards the mobility management. Proper localization techniques and registration methods are applied to trace and connect the device to the network. Like GSM uses HLR and VLR databases which maintain information about the location of the devices. We have mobile IP and cellular IP to support mobility in internet. Another challenge is multipath propagation. What is meant by multipath propagation? When the signal travels from sender to receiver through the radio channel, it is reflected, refracted, diffracted or scattered by the objects present in the atmosphere or in the environment. As a result, the signal travels through different paths known as multipaths. The multipath components reach the receiver with different amplitude at different times and in different phases. First of all, they may also combine with each other constructively or destructively. When they combine with each other constructively, the amplitude is increased, and when they combine each other destructively, the amplitude is decreased. Therefore, multipath propagation produces effects like fading. Furthermore, each multipath component arrives the receiver as a sequence of pulses with different time, amplitude and phase called intersymbol interference. Multiple input, multiple output and OFDM are the solutions to this effect. Multiple input and multiple output actually takes the advantage of multipath propagation in providing additional capacity to the channel. OFDM signals can be made orthogonal to each other so that they do not interfere. It is used in 82.11n, Wi-Fi, LTE Advanced, WiMAX and many more technologies. MIMO and OFDM are the solution to this effect. OFDM signals can be made orthogonal to each other so that they do not interfere. It is used by 82.11n, Wi-Fi, LTE Advanced, WiMAX and many more technologies. Multiple input, multiple output is a technology which uses multiple antennas to set up multiple data streams on the same channel to increase its capacity. It actually takes the advantage of multipath propagation in providing additional capacity to the channel. The next channel is security. Wireless communications use air as the medium. hence are highly susceptible to threats like interception, masquerading, denial of service, replay attacks and many more. Though wireless communication in all form requires security, but it is more crucial in mobile computing applications in the field of banking, business, governance, etc., and is therefore area of special concern. Every technology comes with its own security measure. For example, GSM offers authenticity both at device level and network level. At device level, unique PIN is used to authenticate SIM card. At network level, authentication center performs authentication using challenge response technique with the help of secret key embedded on the SIM card. It also uses same key to encrypt the traffic using algorithm stored on the SIM. Wi-Fi offers security by the use of SSID, WEP, that is wired equivalent privacy, and the authentication servers like Radius, Kerberos, etc. Digital signals and certificates are used for verification of records. To maintain anonymity, the data is transmitted using temporary identifiers of the users like TMSI number in GSM. Various intrusion prevention and detection systems are available for ad hoc networks like MANET and VANET. History of wireless communications. History of wireless communication goes far back in ancient times when light was used to generate on-off patterns in China and smoke signals were used in Greece. The timeline showing evolution of wireless and mobile communication from its inception by invention of optical telegraph till date is presented. I have presented the timeline from 1794 till date. You can take a look of all the achievements which have been made. They are present in your slide, but here I will be just describing the important achievements which have been made. Like Marconi marked beginning of radio communication and demonstrated wireless telegraphy in 1895. In 1901, first transatlantic transmission was performed at a distance of 3200 kilometers. 1920, again Marconi discovered short waves which had the advantage of being reflected at ionosphere and hence can be sent around the world. In 1933, Armstrong invented frequency modulation, which overtook amplitude modulation, which offered relatively pure quality due to interference. In 1973, Motorola invented first mobile cellular phone. In 1982, GSM was formed. It was fully digital and offered voice and data services. In 1984, standard CT1 cordless phones was formed. GSM was standardized in 1991. It was now called Global System for Mobile Communication, worked at 900 MHz and used 124 full duplex channels. In 1997, 82.11 was found and was a strong contender in local area networks and overtook HyperLAN, which was invented in 1996. Wi-Fi or IEEE 82.11 used 2.4 GHz license free bands offering the data rate of 2 Mbps to 10 Mbps. In 1998, mobile communication using satellite was started with the invention of iridium systems. 1999 to 2000 were the starting of 3G technology. ITU standardized family of standards like UMT, CDMA 2000 and DCT. Bluetooth was commercialized. Wireless application protocol started. GPRS offering higher data rates and packet oriented transmissions started. 3G spectrum was at its beginning. In 2002, digital terrestrial TV started, and in 2003, Edge was deployed. IEEE 82.11g was added to 82.11 standard, allowing transmission speeds of 54 Mbps. Bluetooth specification 1.2 was released in 2003. 4G was launched in 2008, and in 2009 the latest in Wi-Fi standards, that is 82.11n, was approved. In 2010, IMTA ratified by ITU and 4G communications were deployed all over. First 4G handset was introduced at International CTIA Wireless Show. Till then, we are living in an era of 5-9 reliability, and there is a long way to go towards 5G technology. We are living in an era of 5-point reliability and have a long way to go towards 5G. In this module, we have discussed about wireless communications and the part of electromagnetic spectrum which are appropriate for wireless communications. We have also discussed the advantages and the challenges of wireless communication and have gone through the history of wireless communication since its inception in 1794 by the invention of optical telegraph till 4G technology.